thoughts, I confess, but the intent was there. I swear we set our sights on something that we thought was true. It falls apart, there's not a heart to beat there. And it falls apart if there's not a heart to have. It falls apart, there's not a heart to beat there. It falls apart if there's not a heart to have. If there's not a heart to have. It falls apart, there's not a heart to beat there. It falls apart if there's not a heart to have. It falls apart, there's not a heart to beat there. It falls apart, there's not a heart to have. Well, I've been waiting for all these years just to see you come back home. But each step that you took towards her, well, you took each one not alone. And every time you said, my God, how is it up there on that road? Well, I've been waiting undefeated just to hear you say that I'm not needed. I said I was an honest man, you said I wasn't at all, but I wanted it. Well, I think you're just afraid of the fall, but you won't be there at all, no, you won't be there. And oh, my God, I hope you're falling apart. My God, I hope you're falling and you, oh, my God, I hope you're falling apart. It's gonna be the start of what you
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's race. We are here with round 8 of Zad's Galaxy Tour Season 10, brought to you by Zealous Racing League. My name is Shim. I'm going to be your host and broadcaster for tonight. Like most nights, I know last week we had a guest broadcaster, McAdams, that came and helped us out, so big thanks to him for helping cover for me while I was out on a work trip. Might have him cover for me again in a couple weeks, but that's not what's happening tonight. Tonight we're watching some excellent battles here at the Nurburgring. Not the Nordschleife, we're here at the GP circuit, and it should be an excellent race tonight. This is a race that I've been looking forward to pretty much the whole season, because we've got a lot of exciting things that are going to come together for this race. One thing that you already saw already is that the track actually started off greasy during our free practice session, so our drivers have now gotten some laps out on the track, made it so that it's now in the fast condition. But when the drivers started, they were running 2-minute or so laps because of the track's track state being greasy. So very interesting dynamics there. Will we see some rain maybe at today's race? That kind of remains to be seen. But what I'm very excited for is for our championship leader, Christopher Larson. He is taking his Joker this race. That is right, folks. He is starting at the back of the pack this race. For those of you who are new to this season, we are implementing a Joker system where every driver will have to choose one race, 1 week, to be their Joker week. And during their Joker week, they are not allowed to qualify during our qualifying session that'll come up here after free practice. So that means they'll start at the back of the grid. Now, Larson has absolutely dominated this season so far, and I believe he's won every race, but given that it's his Joker, it's going to be pretty hard for him, I think, to move up the pack here at the Nürburgring. And we'll have to see if he's able to take the lead or take a win against some of our drivers today. As you can see, drivers like Rivera and Pena already setting in some blistering laps here at the Nürburgring. Rivera with our fastest lap so far with a 1:54.5. Those are some excellent laps from him in the fast condition of this track. And see if any other drivers can get close to him there. He's looking pretty consistent too. The last lap was just a couple thousandths behind his fastest. So Rivera definitely one to watch out for today as we're watching our free practice session. We're also going to want to watch out for Pena, Zhang, and Portis. I think Zhang is definitely a favorite today in that Audi to do pretty well, I'd say, in that car. Audi's supposed to be pretty strong here, from what I'm told. And having talked to Larson last week, actually got to see Larson in person and meet up with him, do some go-karting. He says Zhang is definitely the one to watch out for. So who am I to disagree with our championship, current championship leader in Larson? But yeah, that was actually a really cool in real life ZRL meetup this last week. Got to do some go-karting, and I'll have you know, I was only a couple thousandths of a second off of him in our second race during our go-karting. We met up and we went go-karting, and the first race I was a couple tenths off, and it was like a 20-second lap because this is go-karts. This was indoor go-karts. But yeah, I during the second race that we had, the second stint, was able to get within a couple thousandths of Larson. And let me just say, that right there I was so excited. Honestly, that was a great time. Larson, I see you're in the chat right now. Thank you so much for meeting with me and going karting with me. That was incredible. I actually learned a lot about driving those go-karts that I didn't really know before, and I've been trying to implement that in my sim racing in the last few weeks, and I think it's helped me out a lot. The stabbing of the brakes, rotating the car with a little stabs of the brakes, little things like that we talked about. I think they've made me faster. I think. We'll have to see. Maybe next time we're in an ACC race, that's when it'll really show. Next time we're maybe in those M2 Cup cars, we'll have to see. But that was a wonderful time meeting up. We're doing a little bit of in real life ZRL meetups. Um, really fun times there. So, um, but for today's race, let me get it up really quick here. For today's race at the Nurburgring, we have a 70-minute race, so it is one of our longer races that we have this season. The 70-minute race will consist of one mandatory pit stop for our drivers that they'll have to complete during that 70-minute stint, and the pit window is going to be 90% of that 70 minutes. So whatever that math comes out to, that's how much time our drivers are going to have. So definitely don't want to get caught off on the first lap for sure. Probably first 2 laps here at the Nurburgring. Nurburgring has a little longer lap than some of the tracks that we've been racing at, closer to the 2-minute mark. Not the longest lap, but a little bit longer, a little bit noticeably longer. As we watch Lap, just a little bit of a missed braking zone. Don't worry, Mac, I do that all the time too. I think a lot of people do. Nürburgring, a treasured track for a lot of people, I should say. Being the home of the Nürburgring 24 Hours of Nürburgring, using the Nordschleife or the Nordschleife, depending on, I guess, the correct pronunciation. I'm not 100% sure exactly what the right pronunciation. I think Nordschleife is the correct one, but using that 24-hour layout, the Nordschleife being an incredibly long lap, is really known and really treasured among racing community members. Popularized a lot in recent years by streamers and YouTubers like Jimmy Broadbent and Ermin Hemjovovic, or Erms, his YouTube channel. He's been repping the Nürburgring quite a lot there. Super GT, all of them doing challenges on the Nürburgring to see who can set the fastest lap with some different cars. But has become really popular in a lot of sim racing and racing circles in the last few years. The layout that we're racing today obviously is not the Nordschleife. It is the GP, the Grand Prix layout of the Nordschleife. Pretty much, GP layout of the Nürburgring. Holds a lot in common, but there are some notable changes, like the chicane at the end of the long back straight, and also turn 1 is slightly different in the 24-hour layout. The turn 1 in the 24-hour layout isn't really much of a hairpin. It's more of like just a quick chicane of sorts, but in the GP layout, it acts a lot more like a hairpin. As we have a few more drivers coming in here with 5 minutes left in free practice. One question there, one thing from Old Canadian Gamer, our friend Glenn Pinio, who's in the pits right now, but talking about getting some help. I'm sure if you asked Larson, he'd be happy to help. I know he always is happy to help, always willing to offer assistance when asked. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. As we have 4 minutes left, though, I want to remind everyone, well, one, thank you for your support. This is an absolute treat for me to do. I really do love doing these streams and chatting with all you guys when when we're right before the race or right after the race. It's something I really enjoy. Um, I love doing it, and um, yeah, it's really a treat. I'm really honored to do it. I'm really thankful of this opportunity. And if you're interested in learning more about ZRL, I just have to direct you guys all to our Discord channel. All of that is linked on the front page of our YouTube channel. So if you go to the front page of the YouTube, tap the little Discord icon. It'll bring you to our Discord page, and that will get you into our Discord channel, and that's where you're going to get the most up-to-date information on all things ZRL, upcoming leagues, upcoming special events, all of that. Also, access to the wealth of knowledge that is the ZRL community. Um, all of that is easily accessed if you decide to join our little community here of like-minded racing enthusiasts. And yeah, if you're just interested in getting into the hobby, or you're a veteran and you're looking for some more casual but still serious racing, we've got you covered here at ZRL. We really pride ourselves in uh, allowing for racing of all levels here at Zealous Racing League. So definitely encourage you all to check that out, and give us a like and a subscribe. And trust me, Glenn. You know, if you get that help in real life, um, I bet it would translate really well into the sim. Um, like I found that it did. I felt like if I would have learned the same thing in the sim, I probably could have learned it just as well. Um, you know, a lot of it was braking and carrying speed, and I think too that's one thing that it's really tough about. um, One thing that's really tough about simulators and the like is that you don't always have the best sense of speed, and that can be down to a couple things, whether it's your camera setup may not be what it really should be, um, all of that kind of stuff. If your camera setup isn't spot on, you're not going to have the right sense of speed um, when it comes to taking your corners. And that was one thing that really surprised me, um, even about doing little go-kart racing on these little electric go-karts, is that the sense of speed that you have when you're actually in the car is is incredible, and really helps you to understand how much further you can go. Um, I was finding when I started that I wasn't running the fastest laps, but the more I got comfortable with the car, and the more I understood, oh, wait, I can take so much more speed. My tires have the grip to take so much more speed. You can start feeling that and start seeing that too. Um, it's not just feeling the tires. It's not just, feeling that force feedback. It's so much more of a uh, entire body experience, I guess I should say. But I got some support out there here now for some Rivera and Pena, looking really good in terms of pace for both of them today. Rivera is setting our fastest laps by a whole half a second so far in our free practice. But free practice is just that. It is practice, and the real thing that'll matter is going to be occurring here in just a few moments as we watch the number 9 car of Toby Yao in my favorite livery of the season, that Honda NSX, as we watch him come across the start-finish line here. On his, I want to say his first little lap there. One thing to note is the track is optimum, but there are some clouds on the radar. That's going to be really interesting to see here as we look on Portis as he comes on his outlap. Remember, the laps are a little longer here, so they have 15 minutes for qualifying, but they're not going to get as many laps in as usual. So they're really going to have to hone it in, but Portis is out first with Zhang right behind. Behind them is Pena there in the Aston Martin. Behind Pena is the behind Pena is the 787 car of Rivera. So a lot of those guys that were right at the top, they are going to be the ones setting the first hot laps or first fast laps. And since Rivera had the fastest lap of our free practice session, I think I will follow him on our first lap of the race, where I like to give everyone a lay of the land, so to speak, and give everyone a little bit of a taste of what it's like to drive a lap at the Nurburgring. Now, as I mentioned, I'm really excited for this race because this is Larson's Joker race. Larson and Chris Rise are the two folks doing their Joker race during this week, and Chris has just joined the stream here. I just saw Chris's message since it's his Joker. He's watching the stream right now, but being their Joker race, they are going to be starting from the back of the pack. They will not be able to set any laps here in qualifying and will start at the back and then have to work their way up the field. Let's now go into the cockpit of Rivera here as he does his first hot lap going down the start-finish straight. Going down to Castrol S, hard braking zone at the 100 into a hairpin. Want to go on the gas right at the apex there and use all of the track as you can. Just a little bit of a lift and then go wide on the track into the Mercedes arena area. Very tricky section, have to be really careful. Have to be really careful out of that turn too, not to lose the car easy out of the low power area there, or out of the low speed zone there as you go through turn 6, that is. Very tricky. At the Ford curve going down the hill to the Dunlop hairpin here. Now this is an interesting turn. You can take it a lot of different ways. Double apex, take it tight, but you want to be on the gas as early as you can into the Schumacher S here. Up the hill, you want to just maybe do a little bit of a lift, as you can see Rivera do right there in 4th gear. That's just about right. All you need is a little bit of lift to get the car rotated there, but you really want to stay off the brakes there if you can. I see a lot of drivers going up onto the curbing there to help rotate their car and shift their car's weight into that turn as he takes the turn 12 down the back straight here into what is a fairly little tricky chicane here, braking late. And being very conservative right there with his usage of the curbings. In some cars, you can plow straight through that. I was driving the Lexus on this track the other day and just murdering those corners, murdering that chicane. Rivera slower than Portis there on his first hot lap. So going to be interesting to see how that all pans out here. Belanger and Reed have set laps pretty close to each other, about a second back. Beaudry, our last Ferrari driver, all of those are our poutined liveried friends from Canada, all setting laps pretty close to each other here. We have Darren Wicks in the Audi. As he comes through the Mercedes arena here, really want to hug that turn as much as you can in low gears so you can try and get as far to the left as you can so you can really power out down through the little straight section there. I'd say the Nurburgring is one of the more popular tracks on Assetto Corsa Competizione, but it is, I don't want to say it's deceivingly difficult, but there's a lot of time to find in this track if you know where to look for it. I feel like for a lot of people, they see this track and they'll do the race on it, or they'll do some races on it, do some laps, and maybe they won't be able to understand where they can get more time. Whether that be through the Schumacher S, getting that car up on the curbing, whether that be cutting the chicane more. You know, there's a lot of very tricky parts of this track that you can gain a lot of time if you know where to look for it. Portis does one faster than Rivera there. Rivera going to be coming across here, I think, soon. Wasn't able to set a faster lap. Zhang going awfully close. We got a car off the track there. The 731 of Beaudry is off the track. Wicks does one better than Beaudry there. Let's watch our friend Glenn Pinio here in the Mercedes as he comes around the Mercedes Arena area with a Poutine liveried car right behind him. But like I said, I don't want to say this is a deceivingly difficult track, but I think a lot of people see the name Nürburgring and they're like, oh, I know that from the Nordschleife or something. Or it's definitely the Nordschleife, but they know the Nürburgring from that, or maybe Formula One. But when they get onto the track, I think they realize that it's a lot more difficult than it may seem. And even though I think it still retains a pretty popular following, I'd say it's a difficult track to really get a lot of speed on. Here we watch our friend Matthew Reed here, the best, or sorry, not the best of the Ferraris, the second best of our Ferrari friends. As he comes around the final Coca-Cola curve. See if he could do one better. He is able to go better than Belanger there, but Zhang has now got the fastest lap of the session with a 1:54.492. That sets him less than a half a tenth in front of Rivera there. And we have 6 minutes and 38 seconds of qualifying left to go. For being overcast right now, the track is pretty hot. It's not scorching hot, but a little hotter than I'd expect from an overcast condition. We'll have to see if that does end up becoming rain later. One driver has yet to set a fast lap, and that's Abner Pena here. He is not in his Joker, but just hasn't been able to set a clean lap just yet. Doing well in that Aston Martin this season. Up there with the rest of them. Let's check in on a few of our other friends here. Maybe Kenneth Portis, as he makes his way down the back straight. As you can see, you can really take a lot of that curbing if you know where to go. Portis crosses the line. Is faster, but not fast enough to put himself ahead of Rivera and Zhang there. As Zhang comes across, gets a little bit squirrely there, a bit of snap oversteer coming out of the Coca-Cola curb. Is that going to cost him the time he needs to improve? It just might. Actually, that was his outlap, so it didn't even matter anyway. As I mentioned, Larson says that this is the guy to watch. That Audi set to be a favorite car here. It's going to be actually really interesting here in the next couple weeks. We're going to see, I think, a BOP update for some cars. I know the Lexus is one of them that's going to get a BOP update. That's actually a car I'm driving and right now, kind of choosing to be a main car that I work with. Feels really strong here at this track. But we may see some BOP updates, and I think that might be really just before the last race is when we'll get that. So it could be the case that we'll go this whole season with one BOP, and then the last race of the season will have a completely different balance of performance for these cars. Pena is able to set some faster laps there, but still is only good enough for 6th best. I think he's got that time in him. He's just gotta find it. And here we have Rodman taking a wide line, trying to be on the power as early as he can down the straight. That's his outlap. Actually, right, that is his outlap. Here we have Sunthalap, 2 seconds back from our leaders, but still respectable there. Where is Zhang now? Last lap was not good enough to set his fastest, so he's got maybe 2 more opportunities. This lap and then one after this. If he can make it across the line, I think he will be able to. As he comes down through the Dunlop curve there. As you can see, look at how much he gets onto the curbing there. That really helps to rotate the car and helps, you can stay on the gas there if you get up on the curb. And that little jolt from the curb can help kind of angle the car into that Schumacher S there. Really fun to get, really fun corner to get right. Really fun little section there to get right if you know what to do, if you know about getting the extra time there. A lot of drivers opting to go to the pits now. As we watch Zhang come across the line, does go slightly faster there. So that is the best lap of the race, or of qualifying right now, and he's got one more. Let's see if he can do it. Rivera coming across the line now. He goes one better. It is a 154.220. That's our fastest lap of qualifying right now. Rivera in the Honda NSX. Portis here is trying to do one better. His last lap was just a few thousandths off. We're going to have to come back to him. Gonna have to come back to him. A lot of other drivers now heading to the pits. Few drivers that still have yet to set a lap. Albert's one of them, Rodman one of them. Both of them are out there on their final laps. Here we have Albert setting a lap, puts him into P13. Portis here with this is his last lap. That is the fastest lap for him, but it's not good enough to move him forward. That's going to be P3 start for Portis. As Zhang turns the final corner here. Really being ambitious with his power application there. And he does go faster, but it's just not enough. Just not enough. And as Rivera now is crossing, Rivera will increase his gap. The 171 car is behind Belanger. See if he can do one better. He's not able to. Last but not least, our friend Rodman sets a lap, puts him into P16. Well, there you have it, folks. There you have it. That is our qualifying, and we have rain. We have rain. Oh my freaking goodness. I am so excited for this race. You have got to be kidding me. There is rain at the Nurburgring today for a 70-minute race. It looks like it's going to get less too, so we're going to actually see some strategy from our drivers here once the track starts to change and evolve. That is incredible. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I love rain racing. I love this Joker system, and Larson at the back of the pack. This is going to be incredible here at the Nürburgring today. But I should not be so excited, and I really should tell you our starting order of the race. And to give you that starting order of the race, we've got Ricardo Rivera starting on pole, Shenkai Zhang lining up with him on row 1, Kenneth Portis, he's in P3, Abner Pena in 4, Reed in 5, Turnbull 6, Belanger 7, Beaudry 8, Sunthalap P9, Collis in P10, Wicks in P11, Pinio P12, Alberts P13, Yao P14, Fender 15, Rodman 16, Flores 17, and last but not least, our two Joker participants this race is going to be Christopher Larson and Chris Rise. Both Chris's here starting from the back of the pack. I do apologize for anyone's eardrums there. I just get really excited with rain. We don't see rain all that often here, but this is going to be really interesting. I think this may be the first race that I've commentated that has had rain on it. So I'm very excited to see how this plant pans out. I'm very excited to see how the weather pans out. It's something we're going to have to watch really throughout the race to see if, you know, if it does end up warming up, if the sun does start to come out. I mean, we have an hour and 10 minutes with one mandatory pit stop, so it's going to be really interesting to see what our drivers decide to do. Are they going to try and go long on this first stint and see if they can get their tire changed with a set of dries in there? I don't know. We'll have to see. The rain looks like it's going to get a little bit less, like it's going to get a little bit lighter here in about 30 minutes. So it's totally within the realm of possibility for our drivers to do that. But anyway, I'm just so excited. I love rain. This is great. 10 seconds left as our drivers now turn on their lights and get their tire pressures ready. Fuel, their fuel gauge, their fuel is filled up on those cars as we watch all of the headlights light up here. And here they go for the formation. Will there be carnage at turn 1? It is raining. Turn 1 is a hairpin. Could be carnage here. We'll have to see how this all turns out. This is going to be incredible. Who knows how this race is going to go now as we start with 70 minutes at the Nurburgring as they all turn. The 667 car of Sunthalap has stopped. Hasn't started going yet. Wonder what's happening with him, but here we go. Race has started. Down to the start and finish line here they go. Rivera and Zhang right next to each other. Zhang really outbraking Rivera there and gets on the power early. Rivera loses the car. Car behind him spins out. I think that's the Ferrari of Reed. Pena inherits P4 there from Reed. Rivera now feeling pressure from Portis on the inside. Portis really dives it up the inside there. And Rivera with a little bit of a switchback there. As Zhang is now take the leads of the race. Zhang and Rivera trying to lead out the pack here. Portis right behind Pena. Reed is said to be there, but I thought I saw him spin out. I'm not sure. We do have a car stopped on track. That is Sunthalap still is stopped. Wonder what's happening with him there. Not entirely sure what's going on with Sunthalap. We see him dropping down the list now, but it does appear that his car is just sitting there, and that's going to be dangerous for our drivers as they come up to where his car is located. That's right in a braking zone. Down a hill, his car is on the track. I'm not really sure what's going on here. We'll have to see what happens. This is going to be dangerous. I really do not know what to expect here. Car on the track, looks to be a caution. Drivers should be very careful as they come up here, as Zhang is leading the race. Rivera and Portis has made the move on Rivera, but actually no, Rivera's feeling the pressure from Pena now as he got a poor run of it. Looks like Sunthalap has finally left. Pena gets a little bit too much, too anxious there, loses the grip, and Portis will re-inherit P3. Little battle coming up between those two cars. Belanger is now the Ferrari in P5 as Reed has dropped down the field after a little bit of a spin there. Wicks is in P6, Turnbull P7. Larson has moved his way up into P8 already on the first lap. That's a huge move for Larson there in his Onid Racing Honda there. He's still got a bit of ways to go, and Zhang and a few other cars spinning out. I think that's Rivera has spun out. That is not good for Rivera. It's going to give Zhang much needed breathing room to really run with it now. Incredible so far. So we watch Turnbull feeling the pressure now from Larson behind. P8 and P7 here these guys are, but actually I think they've inherited a few positions from some cars that have spun out here early in the race. As Turnbull careful to apply the power with these wet conditions. We'll have to see how long it takes for Larson to get back here. Rivera, you can see him now dropping back. Pit window is open now. As, looks like Turnbull goes a little bit too hot down the hairpin, and that will give Larson just what he needs to get ahead. Larson already made his way up into P5 now in the race, but he's still got a lot of room to go to catch up to Zhang and the rest of them. Other drivers that have made some moves, looks like Rise is up into P15 after starting from the back of the pack. Pinio has held firm. Rodman has moved up from P16 or 17, I want to say it was, or 16 at the start of the race. Now in P13. Now we see two cars battling it out here, two team members. as they pass Pena here. One of them goes off the track. That's Beaudry off the track as he was racing with his teammate Belanger there. Maybe got a little bit nervous with his friend right next to him there. Car off the track. Larson now still feeling the pressure from, or actually is trying to get ahead of Wicks here. Larson is now, ooh, can he make it? Does he have the power? Looks like he does, and he's got the line to make it work here, driving a little bit of a battle there with Wicks and Larson as we see Belanger now really losing the car there into the Coca-Cola S. Oh, we have a lot of carnage contact between the two Mercedes of Alberts and Pinot there. And ooh, Pinot and Collis almost have some contact as well. They're keeping it clean so far as the driver's trying to manage this wet weather. Very slippery for our drivers. Watching Collis in our Porsche, in the flannel Porsche, try to battle with a Ferrari behind him. Zhang is now 5 seconds ahead of Portis. Pena's got 3 seconds, or 2 seconds to go to get up to Portis, and Larson's 5 seconds behind them. So Larson already making some great moves to get up there. I think the pit window is going to really mean something here. See how our drivers can manage that. As we watch Collis's flannel wagon. Oh, a car slipping. That's Chris Rise slipping in the Schumacher S's, I want to say. Yeah, I'm surprised he was able to keep that car. He was Tokyo drifting it up through the Schumacher S there. Was able to keep the car. Zhang gaining some ground on Portis here. Gaining some space. And it looks like Rise is going into the pits early here to make his pit stop. Interesting strategy there, as we do see that the rain will die down in about 30 minutes. We don't know how much it'll die down by, but we do see that on the radar. Rain will die down in 30 minutes. Larson trying to make ground on Pena, but doesn't seem to be making much. As Rise takes his pit stop. Here we see Larson 5 seconds back from Pena now. Already P4 from starting in the back of the grid. Just incredible that this is the race that the rain decides to come. Here we have Alberts and Pinot, the two Mercedes drivers that we have on the grid this season, battling it out here for P12. Well, actually P11 now that Rise has taken his pit stop. Could be a case too where a lot of these drivers don't have a wet weather setup. Maybe Rise is thinking, I need to adjust my pressures, and it may be better for him to just go and take his pit stop now as Alberts goes a little bit wide into the Dunlop hairpin there. Up the Schumacher S is now where I said that you really want to take as much of that curbing as possible. In the wet, maybe not so much, as Pinot is in a little bit of a dire situation there, hitting the barriers, and loses him there. Chris Rise, though, loses the car in the Mercedes arena there. Rivera, after the lap 2 incident, I want to say, has moved his way back up into P7. If you remember, Rivera was our pole sitter, but did get beaten by Zhang on the line. Larson now with the fastest lap of the race. Rivera working his way up the field. Rivera 4 seconds behind Wicks here as we watch Wicks maybe feeling some pressure from Turnbull behind. Man, this rain race is really throwing a lot of stuff up into the air now. I think I'm so fond about rain races because one of the first, I don't know if it was the first season, maybe the second or third season I was racing with ZRL, we did a mixed class season with GT3s and GT4s. And I want to say it was the first or second race of the season I was able to get a podium position only behind Larson, racing in the GT4 class at Imola, because rain caused a lot of havoc on lap 1. And rain stuck for the rest of the race, and I was able to manage traffic on that lap 1 carnage just enough to get ahead. So I think I really love rain and what it can provide in terms of an exciting kind of reset of skill, I should say. I find that with rain racing, it's a lot more of a visual and a feel. Like it's not so defined of like where you're supposed to brake, and even though there are braking zones, it's a lot more of a feeling of how the car is doing and just trying to find the pace where you can. So I think that aspect of rain racing I find to be incredibly exciting. As we watch this little gaggle of cars here come through the chicane there. Pinio's made his way back up to Alberts now. Chris Rise is in the pits again. Looks like Pinio's able to get close, but just isn't able to seal the deal when it comes to racing against Alberts there. Now Turnbull feeling the pressure of Rivera behind. Once Rivera gets through Turnbull and Wicks here, if he is able to get through, I think he will. Right on his tail now as they come out of the Mercedes Arena area. Rivera trying to find a weakness there. Turnbull doesn't want to give anything as they come up or come down the hill. Rivera's got that inside line, trying to maybe outbrake him into the hairpin. Ooh, awfully close. Ooh, Wicks ahead. Loses his car a little bit there. Might be a promotion for both of these drivers here. Rivera will get through both, and there's contact. Oh, but they keep it. Ooh, could have been very dangerous there going into the Schumacher S's, but they do make it away unscathed. Rivera now ahead in P5. Now trying to make his way up to Larson. 57 minutes left in this race. We've got Zhang in the lead, Portis behind, Pinio just loses his concentration there for a moment. And loses up all that ground that he gained on Alberts there. Alberts goes a little bit wide. Check in on our leader here. Looks like Zhang's doing well to manage. He hasn't gained as much ground as he may have liked in the last few laps. 6 seconds up from Portis behind. Pena now getting awfully close to Portis. Less than a second now. Portis and Pena battling it out now out in the Mercedes Arena section. And actually close behind them, they do have Larson closing in fast. Larson starting at the back of the pack, really making his way up quite quickly now. Larson's got the fastest lap of the race by a long shot right now. Really setting some blistering laps there as Portis and Pena battle it out here. Portis seems to have just enough speed to stay ahead of Pena right now. Rivera 15 seconds back from this little battle going on here. Trying to make his way up to Larson here. Doesn't look like he got any damage. Maybe that incident he had was really just him spinning out, making just a small little mistake. Very tricky in these wet conditions, but knowing Rivera, I think he's got the speed. I think he's got the pace. Question from Nacho here. Hey, Shim, you will race in the next season? Oh, goodness. Honestly, my honest answer would be I'd love to, but I think for the season proper, I'm needed in the broadcasting booth. That being said, we are looking into some opportunities for some fun in between the season events, and you can bet that I'll be racing in those if I can. I got an idea brewing in the noodle right now. I got a little idea for a reverse grid absolute carnage extravaganza. Shim's reverse grid carnage extravaganza, maybe I should call it. And it's going to be a season, or a fun season maybe. We'll have to see, how if it pans out, where we do one qualifying session at the beginning of the season, and then every race, like the first race will be that session, so pretty easy. And then every race after that is going to be a reverse grid of the week's results prior. We'll have a little bit of practice, and then we'll just go straight into a reverse grid race. So we'll see how that pans out. We'll see if we can get that to work. It's going to be a little bit of a meme. I want to encourage people to race like silly cars. But yeah, we'll have to see if that pans out. Rivera not really gaining on the cars. Not really gaining on these cars ahead. Christopher Larson has now made his way ahead of Pena here. Already up into P3. Incredible moves from Larson here. So Larson, P3. Still got some time to go, though. Yes, I did race in the GT4s. I did race in the GT4 season. That was actually, I think, the season before I became the broadcaster. So, I'd really love to, but duty calls. Looking at our lap timings here, Larson is setting some really, really amazing laps in the 208s right now in that car. Zhang is only running in the 209s. Best lap is almost a 209 flat. So not really gaining as much on Larson as he maybe would like. I think Portis is going to try to block Larson as best he can here. Alberts has made his pit stop. That's something to note now. Things really kind of evening out here. Zhang is gaining time. Now less than a second back. Pena staying close as well. I think, I think Portis is going to do a good job of holding up Larson here. At least I hope he does. I hope a little bit of a battle ensues and they're able to duke it out a bit here for a couple laps. And that might actually be a prime opportunity for Pena to get back into this fight here. It should be really incredible to see all of that unfold. they come through the chicane. Zhang looks to have had a bit of a mistake there on the last lap. Yeah, didn't set, was almost a second slower than his fastest lap there. I think he made a small mistake. Larson goes and sets his the best lap of the race right there. Pena trying to gain some time behind. As you can see, the lapped car of Flores there behind. Flores there. Flores there just went in for his pit stop as we are less than 50 minutes left. Larson, Larson is an incredible driver. I think the thing with Larson is he's put so much time into this. He's put so much time into this game. Like we talked about this actually the other day, because I got the opportunity to meet him, which incredible dude. Just let me say that out front. Like incredible dude. We did some go-kart racing. It was so much fun. But like super humble and was just like, yeah, I put in the time, especially during like quarantine and things like that, like back in like 2020 and those times. He just put a lot of time into the game, put a lot of time into understanding the cars he's driving. He says that that's actually probably the biggest thing for him, is understanding the car that he's driving and understanding how it operates in different circumstances. And because of that, and because of his extensive track knowledge of having raced this game quite a bit, in multiple different leagues and in multiple different avenues, he's really gained a lot of like deep experience. And being he races dirt ovals in real life, like dirt oval racing in real life. I think that mentality of practice and that mentality of like understanding your car and understanding the track, I think is something that he's gained from that real world experience, and he's really been able to adapt that to road racing. Very close there between Larson and Portis as they go into T1. That was some incredible driving. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Yeah, so it comes down to a lot of practice. It comes down to a lot of track knowledge, a lot of experience in these cars. And I think, yeah, for sure, it comes down to a lot of talent. He just really has a knack for this. And I will say, like, there are definitely some things that I think people can learn from, learning from a guy from Larson, And another thing too is that Larson isn't even really that quick compared to a lot of the esports drivers, in these sims. A lot of these esports drivers are a whole second or so ahead of Larson, making guys like me seem slow, making guys like basically in the same league as I am when I race against Larson. So it's really incredible to see that breadth of experience and how much it really does vary. As we watch Fender here making a move, I want to say that's Belanger that he made the move on there. Goes wide, Belanger takes the inside. Ooh, and they do connect there. Not a good look for Fender. He still had Belanger on the inside there. Not sure Belanger really needed to. I think just taking a narrow line. But a little bit of a contact there between those two cars. But yeah, I think there's a lot of mentality things that you can learn from someone like Larson. That's what I took away from, I think, the most of when I was driving with him, is just like really being attuned to how the track operates, or like not how the track operates. Well, Larson kind of dropping back a little bit, feeling pressure from Pena there as they go side by side. Pena getting close. Pena on the inside. Oh, very close between the two, but Pena and Larson keeping it respectable. And Pena still got that inside. Ooh, close contact between the two drivers. Spins out. He's going to let him pass there. Yep. Just a small little tap there in a tough section of the track to go side by side. So that will put Larson on the back foot there, and Pena. It'll put them both back quite a bit. Fender and Belanger still battling it out here now. Fender takes the outside going down the kink on the back straight. Nacho, next season, they're thinking May time frame, because we're thinking we're going to get an update to the game and some DLC added, and we will be using that new DLC, I believe, in the new season. So we think that's coming soon, and that's about the timing we're thinking. Here we have Wicks feeling pressure from Reed behind. We'd love to have you back, Nacho. '99 car of Pinio. Goes maybe a little bit wide in the Schumacher S there. Yeah, no worries. And if you are interested in the leagues or looking for more information, don't hesitate to reach out to some of our admins like Portis and Collis and Wolf, and see if they have any more information on it, because they do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to setting up a lot of our leagues and all of that. You know, just shoot them a Discord message. They'd be happy to help with whatever questions you might have. Here we have Rivera lapping Flores here. Rivera now has the fastest lap of the race with a 2:07. 2:07.9. So looks like the rain is still coming down, and I don't see like I can't really see it too much right now on the stream, but it looks like the rain is still coming down right now, and it looks like it's going to improve in the next 30 minutes or so. The rain will die down. Here we have Yao going on the inside of Collis here. Makes a move. Good move down into T1. Pretty textbook. Collis gave him plenty of space there. So that little contact there with Pena does put Larson at a bit of a disadvantage now. 14 seconds or so back from Zhang in the lead, and 7 seconds back from Portis. So 7-7 is the gap kind of between all of those drivers right now. Fastest lap of the race is Rivera with a 1:07.985. Rivera making some really nice gains up the field here. We have Wicks still feeling pressure from Reed. Reed going on the inside there down the straight. Looks like he will have the pace to make that move. Plenty of space there. And as they come into that chicane there, make it nice and easy. Yeah, I think one thing that a lot of us can learn from drivers, not just drivers like Larson, but Portis and Zhang, is the amount of muscle memory and focus that they have when it comes to these racing games. You know, these guys are able to learn a track and really turn off their mind, and they can still be thinking about the race, but they can run laps at these tracks without having to think too hard about it. You know, they are really just able to dial it in and just run fast laps. And it's all down to muscle memory and time with the game, you know. A lot of these guys didn't get that way by, you know, by just practicing a little bit before the race. You know, these guys have put in hours and hours into this game, and maybe they didn't, you know, maybe they didn't practice a ton before this race, but they've put in the time, you know, they've put in the time before, and they're able to call back to that muscle memory when they need it. Rodman and Belanger now battling it out. This is for P12. "40 minutes left in the race. Yeah, maybe they're not able to do it in the rain. That is true. Like I said, the rain really does throw everything kind of up in the air when it comes to how these races will pan out. Oh no, that's Rodman spinning it out in the Schumacher S's. Oh no, you hate to watch that live. Rodman just losing the car there. It got a little too slippery for him to manage. Reed and Wicks here. As we see the beautiful Poutine liveried car. Portis has got a lapped car behind him of Albert's. Behind Albert's is his rival and friend Larson. Oh goodness. We do have a good catch by one of our onlookers here. 30 minutes from now, they say that there's going to be no rain on the track. So the rain is just getting lesser and lesser. Now it comes down to whether our drivers want to take the gamble and pit now when we're about halfway through the race, or do they want to see how that rain will affect things? Because we have 37 minutes left in this race. No rain in approximately 30 minutes. Now that could come sooner, I think, technically speaking. I think that technically could come sooner. But that's going to be about 3 or 4 laps if it becomes, you know, nice and green and dry, maybe even green. If it becomes that way with, let's say, 10 minutes left to go, that's still 4 or 5 laps, 6 laps of racing. And you're right, our drivers will need to adapt every single lap as the track dries out, because the conditions will change. They'll find lines where they can, you know, they can keep their tires, you know, a little cooler in rain, or maybe even find a dry line to run their tires. Yeah, that's always the gamble with, and that's always the gamble with these races where the conditions do change. How, you know, depending on when the pit windows and everything are, how long do you nurse those wet tires in a drier condition? Do you want those tires to be flaming hot for the last 4 or 5 laps of the race, setting laps that aren't maybe the best, but trying to just cool them off the best you can? Is that what you want to do, or is it dry enough where you can get a better, you know, a set of fresh, dry tires? Is it going to be good enough conditions for you to get that set of dry tires and really run some faster laps with that. It really does come down to how fast this track will dry up once this rain stops in approximately 30 minutes. Here we have Rivera now is 3 seconds back from Pena. Fender goes wide. It's going to give Rodman and I want to say maybe Belanger a chance to move past. We do have a car, the number 53 car of Rodman in the dirt there. Alberts has taken his pit stop, running P17 right now. One driver to watch right now is Pena in the pits. He is opting to pit now. "34 minutes left in the race. Pena is done with his pit stop now, heading back out on the track. Got to get those tires warmed up though. Larson closing in on Portis now, only 3 seconds away. Looking at the lap times, things have gotten a lot closer as we go here. Larson's best lap is a 2:07.4. Portis is a 2:07. Portis is the 2:07.4. Larson is a 2:07.2. Best lap for Zhang in front is a 2:07.5. Must be just a little bit more consistent with how much he's getting faster laps. Last lap was a 2:07.8 for Zhang. I think I agree with you there, Slim, where I think the better option will be to stay out on wets. Maybe taking a pit stop within the next couple laps. Rivera, fastest lap of the race, a 2:07.6. Larson had a faster lap before that, a 2:06.4, a 2:06.5 for Larson. Rivera just a little bit faster than our friend. Rivera just a little bit faster than our friend Larson here. Problem is, Rivera has a lot more ground to make up to get up to Larson here, and Zhang even further than that. Things are evening out here a little bit as we watch Portis a second behind him here. Is Larson behind? And you can see Larson right there, getting awfully close. Here, watch our P5 driver, Turnbull, trying to make a move on the lapped car, Flores. Collis is in the pits. Larson very close now. To our friend Portis within the second. Now Portis is going to do his best to hold off Larson here. If not for his own sake in keeping P2, for the sake of Zhang in front, who has to try and stay ahead. Driver's keeping it awfully close to the inside there. Being respectable. Now this is a battle that we've seen before here. Larson versus Portis. Not only a battle that we've already seen here at this race, but if you recall back to last season at Monza, battles between Larson and Portis were heated. So watch Beaudry here. Got Pena's car behind him, trying to take that position. Pena's made his pit stop though. Looking at Portis here though, as they go through the Schumacher S's, this is where the battle that we want to watch is. 30 minutes left in this race. Portis just trying to plant that Honda right in the middle of the track, not give Portis the opportunity. Try to slow him up any way that he can. Got to go single file into the single file into that chicane there. Oh, awfully close, Larson there. So we come down, the start finish, Larson right on the bumper of Portis. Let's go to the helicam as they come down the start finish straight. Larson looking on the inside. Portis has got a little bit more speed though. Plants his car right in the middle of the track. Portis cuts him off on the apex. Portis now has to stay nice and tight here, and it looks like he has. Just keeping that car nice and centered here. Not giving him much room to maneuver. Really just trying to lock him down right now. This is giving Zhang the opportunity to really run some nice fast laps. Zhang has now got almost a 9-second lead on these drivers here. Watch them as they come down the hill. Larson, again, doesn't have much space to block him off. Doesn't have much space at all, and Portis will just plant again. Car right in the middle. That's textbook defending right there. Just not giving Larson any room to maneuver. Larson looking up the inside has made that move nice and quick there, but doesn't have the speed to get Portis there. Portis working to just plant that car in the middle of the track and really gains a lot of time there trying to hold up Larson. Rivera is 9 seconds behind this battle here. See if he can catch up. Last few laps haven't been great for Rivera. And that's Larson into the pits. That could be bad for Portis here. He might want to think about doing his pit stop. Larson going for the undercut here. I think it might work out for him. 26 minutes left. Still says 30 minutes out. There will be no rain. 10 minutes from now, rain's still going to be here, but it's less. Looking back at some of our other drivers now as we wait for this battle. Zhang now 9 seconds ahead of the leader, or ahead of Portis there. Maintaining the lead after the lap 1 overtake. James Turnbull is running in P5 really right now. We've got Matthew Reed now coming in for his pit stop, P6. Peña's P7, or will be. In the Aston Martin, I think he did get into some, skirmishes there. And I think that has hindered his pace a little bit, and especially at the beginning of the race. Wicks is in the pits. Yao is out there right now, hasn't made his pit stop yet. Beaudry and Belanger are in the pits right now. Fender and Rodman duking it out here down the back straight. Portis is in for his pit stop. Something to watch here soon as Rodman just cuts the track completely there and lets him back through. Good racing there from Rodman. Knows he made the mistake, gives it back. Collis moving his way to the chicane. P14 has already made his pit stop though. Flores, P15. Pinio, 16 right now. Albert's behind him in 17. And then Rise opting to just stay in the pits for the rest of the race. After a bit of a rough little sell there. Here watching Portis. He is finished up. And down the straight he goes. He is going to lose that position. He's going to lose it to... I think he's going to lose it to Larson there, but he puts himself on the inside. Maybe a little bit of contact there. Oh, that was awfully close, but timed it just perfectly. Almost didn't have the time. Oh my goodness, that was awfully close between those two drivers. As Larson planting that Honda into the middle of the track. Larson's now giving him that pressure. Larson loses that car just a little bit, loses time. Oh, that was incredible. If he was just a fraction of a second slower there, wouldn't have worked out. But now those two drivers have made their pit stop. It's going to be advantageous for them now. Zhang setting some consistent 207s, but hasn't really had an incredibly fast lap yet. Still faster than Portis's best lap, but Rivera especially has been setting some blistering laps recently. Last lap was a 206, almost flat. Now the rain is getting lesser and lesser, so that may have something to do with it. But you're right, only has to defend for 22 minutes now as they come up to some back markers here. Coming down the kink. This is an incredible battle between two incredible drivers here. As they come through. Making the final turn. 21 minutes left. It's a good way to watch him right now. Just doesn't have the speed to get right up onto the side of Portis there. Portis is defending for his life right now. Two incredible drivers. Portis is really an expert defender when it comes to his racecraft. That's probably, if I had to rate his attacking and defense, I think his defense is really good. Larson tries to cut up the inside there, gets his nose in, but has to duck out because Portis just blocks him right off. Turnbull in the pits. Rodman in the pits. Rodman out. Incredible work from these two drivers here. Really helping Zhang right now. to slow down these two drivers, because right now these are his biggest threats. Looks like Zhang's going to try to go as long as he can. Rivera is in the pits. Last few laps have been incredible from Rivera, though. Larson right on the tail. Larson has to duck out. Portis is doing a little, I think he's doing a little move there where he's trying to slow Larson down into a lot of these corners, try to make him go on the brakes a little bit more than he'd want to. Yes, that is slowing down Portis's lap, but it's really giving him control over the situation right now. As Larson gets super close, and he's got a good run. Larson does get a little bit squirrely though on the exit and isn't able to keep his momentum. That'll be another lap where where Portis is going to hold out here. It's the cross the start finish that will put them ahead of Rivera now. Rivera will move back a couple spaces there, but I think Rivera is now still closer to these guys than he was before. Just watching the tail end of Portis here. This is an incredible battle. He's looking on that inside again. It doesn't work. He's really making Portis sweat right now. These are incredible little like ducks in there. It is slowing him down in the long run, but I think Larson knows he's got the speed to beat Portis once he can get ahead. He's just gotta be aggressive, try to make the move. There's only 18 minutes left, which maybe seems like a long time. It may be in terms of this race, but it really isn't a long time in the grand scheme of things. Coming down the hill they go. Or not up the hill. Schumacher S is, sorry, wrong part of the track. They're coming up to a back marker here. I think that's Martin Alberts in the Mercedes. Might try to use Alberts, or Alberts is going to let them pass. Actually, doesn't look like Alberts is going to let them pass down the straight here. So now they're going to have to manage another car here. Actually, Alberts will brake right there. Does slow them down a little bit. Larson getting really close in the braking zone of the hairpin. Or sorry, not the hairpin, but the chicane. On the power they go. Larson just gets a little bit too wide on the exit there. Really has to narrow that up. Maybe take a little bit of a wider line. Needs the run up because I think turn one may be his best bet, but just hasn't been able to make it work yet. Larson doing a great job though with his defense. Indeed, Larson is trying to get KP off the line here, but you know, KP is a veteran racer at this point. He's not falling for any of that. He is going to do the best he can. To hold out, and he's gonna make his line and he's gonna stick to it. I know we've been watching this battle for a while now, but only other battle I see is Rodman and Pinio there down in P 15 and 16, which might be one that we want to check here soon. But this battle for P2, this is our podium positions here. So awfully close. We'll take a look here as they have a bit of a stalemate in the next couple corners. Portis locking it down. Down the back straight they go. Larson, this might be his best run yet down this back straight. Still not going to work though, I don't think. Pinot and Rodman now coming into the hairpin, battling it out down in the back of the pack. Still battles going on though back here. As you can see, these two drivers up the Schumacher S as they go. Now this is what we want to watch here. Down the start finish, Portis making Larson think about it there. Oh, on the inside goes Larson, and Portis blocking it off. He takes the inside line there. Almost knew that he would have that space into a tough part of the track to overtake. Larson looking for that room, isn't able to get it. Oh, goodness gracious, awfully close. Larson goes a little long. Awfully close between these drivers. Larson right on the tail end. Oh, goodness gracious. So close. Only one driver yet to make his pit stop. That is Fender. Oh, Larson might have an opportunity here as Portis gets a little squirrely on the exit. They're nose to nose here down the back straight. Portis is a little bit squirrely. Just ekes out ahead though into the chicane. That could have been very dangerous for Portis there. Oh man, that was very nerve-wracking indeed. Could have been a nightmare for Portis there as he lost a little bit of the grip with the car there, turning down to the straight. Ooh, sends it up the middle. Larson does. Portis does the switchback. Portis gonna make it stick. Almost another dangerous move. Looks like Larson tried to outbrake Portis there and really kind of did, but just wasn't able to make that move stick. As they get awfully close again in this arena section. Larson up in the inside again, and Portis has just got more speed going on the outside there. Just gives you so much of a better run down the straight here, and you can see that time gap that he's able to pull because Larson's got to back out there. There's no way he's going to be able to get that line with Portis cutting across. Great respect between these two drivers. Excellent battles going on right now. News from the back of the pack, Rodman has made it his way ahead of Glenn Pinot in the back, but Pinot maybe not having any of it, and Rodman maybe having a little bit of a mistake there in his Audi, and Glenn will get that position back fairly easily. Fender back here has Belanger on his tail. Fender has yet to make his pit stop. Only a few more laps left. Maybe he's trying to weigh it out and get that extra. He's trying to get that extra time that a dry tire might provide him at the end of this race. Here we go down that straight again. Super close between these drivers. Conditions are getting better on the track. Rain is dying down. Larson looking on the inside. Not really going to make it work there. That's not really a spot that you make the overtake here, as we have 11 minutes left in this race. This may be the best battle we've had all season. Larson and Portis here at the Nurburgring. Been going on for easily 30 minutes now between these two drivers. 30 minutes with a pit stop in between. Larson goes inside, looks outside. Door to door between the two cars. Larson's on the inside. Portis got a little bit better grip, but he has to take the long way round. And he doesn't brakes fast enough there, but he's got more speed. He's going to go on the inside here, going out of the Mercedes arena complex here. Larson has got that inside line, though. Portis is going to have to duck out, though, this time. I think that may have just sealed the deal there for Portis. Has held him off for almost 30 minutes. Larson with a little switch going inside, then out. Out-braking Portis on the first turn. Now it's just up to Larson to gain a gap here. Portis has just got to do his best to stick with. 12-second gap between Larson and Zhang. Don't think Zhang's going to be able to... Larson's going to be able to get to Zhang there. But what a move from Larson there. Looks on the inside, ducks it back out. I'm almost thinking we should take the rewind system back a little ways here as we watch this little battle. Didn't go as well as I maybe expected there. A little bit of a technical difficulty. Only got to see the end of the battle there. But such great respect between the drivers there. Zhang out there in the front, like I said, 12 seconds. Really no worries for him now. Fender, looks like Belanger has made his way ahead of Fender here. But what an incredible pass from Larson to take P2. It still looks pretty close between these two drivers from what I can see on the timing sheets. Portis is trying to stick with the best he can. Rivera might even come into the show here a little bit, as he's now only 3 seconds back. What kind of chaos could that bring into the picture? As we have 8 minutes left. It's been door-to-door action this whole race long. And looking at the radar now, there is no rain on the forecast. The track will be drying up now. As we have 4 minutes left in our pit window, that means that Fender really only has maybe 1-2 more laps to make his pit stop. And the track is still wet. Portis doing a really good job to stick with Larson here. Maybe he's thinking he can make a move back at Larson. Given Portis's pace, I wouldn't have expected this from him. But doing a very good job. That's not meant to disrespect. Doing a great job to stick with Larson right now. As we come up to some back markers here, that's Toby Yao. The Honda of Toby Yao, and it looks like Yao is just kind of planting himself not in a great spot here for Larson. Oh no. I wonder if Yao thinks this is a battle he needs to fight. This isn't. He kind of tries to go on the inside there and goes off track, sadly. Trying to let him by, but that almost could have been dangerous for Larson there. Almost gave Portis an opportunity to come back. Rivera now 3 seconds back as we got 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the race. What an amazing battle that we're watching here between two top class drivers. Some of the best that we have in our league. Just the amount of respect and amount of skill that was just unraveling there. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Portis has dropped off a little bit in the last few laps, but Rivera now awfully close. Maybe had a bit of a mistake. Maybe that's a timing mistake there. Doesn't look like he's less than a second behind. Maybe he was and then had a little bit of a mistake. Larson trying to stick with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. Seeing how some of our other drivers are doing. Yao and Collis having a bit of a battle here. Could be contact. Nope, they are keeping it clean. That is a position for Collis there. Takes P10 from Yao. Nice little move there between those two drivers. Our friend Turnbull down in P12 now. Flores, P13, Fender, 14, Pinio, 15, Albertson, 16, and Rodman, after a slight few issues, is in 17th. Zhang, our leader of the race, doing an excellent job, has really benefited greatly from the battles that have ensued throughout this race, has been able to maintain that lead. Not that his pace was poor at any means, but really just made a great move right at the beginning there to get in the lead, steer clear of any dangers, and keep the car on track, keep it clean. And now he's going to be rewarded for it unless anything major happens in the next 2 minutes. We are going to have, I believe, 2 laps left in this race. Because looking at our timing sheets and everything, looks like Zhang will have 1 other lap after this. Well, I must say, this has truly been 70 minutes of pure action. This is why I love rain races. This is what I'm always looking forward to when it comes to sim racing, is these excellent battles and these excellent moments. "30 seconds left. This will be the white flag. This will be the final lap of this race, as we have Wicks there spinning out in the Mercedes arena. Turnbull may be battling it with Collis here. Rodman opts to just end and go to the pits. Could be a battle here to the end between these two drivers, Turnbull and Collis. As they're now coming down the hill now. Turnbull just trying to keep it close. But here we are, Zhang, throughout all 32 laps of the race, 33 at the end of this one, has led. Doesn't have the fastest lap, but he didn't need it to secure this win. After 70 minutes, our winner here, Shenkai Zhang. He'll take, I think this might be his first win with Zealous Racing League. Incredible performance from him. Kind of a boring one, but still incredible nonetheless. Larson, after starting at the back, will take P2, and Portis. Great battles between those two. P3, a podium position for him. Rivera will take P4. Pena, his teammate, behind him as he rounds the Coca-Cola curve here, will take P5. Baudry, Wicks, and Belanger have locked in their positions. 7, 8, 9. Pena, 5. Reed, he will be our 6th place driver. Turnbull and Collis have finished 10 and 11. Yao behind him, 12. So watch the 49 car of Alberts now crossing. He's going to be P16. Yao, a little bit of a issue, or he just finished his race. Flores will take P13, and Fender behind him will take P14. Last but not least, we have our friend Glenn Pinio as he rounds this final turn here. Actually, 29 of Reed. He's finally just passed. But last but again not least, our friend Glenn Pinio will take P15 to close out this action-packed, incredibly crazy race at the Nurburgring. If you would have asked me if this race would have been as good as it was, you know, a couple hours ago, I probably still would have believed you. But to add in the rain and to add in just these incredible battles, I could not have predicted it. Absolutely incredible battles between our drivers today. And I do want to bring in a few drivers actually today. Can you hear me, Larson?
Yeah, I got you.
Cool. Well, let me just say, that may have been the best battle I've ever watched ever in my time doing these races. I just gotta say, incredible work from you and Portis.
Yeah, it was a really good one. I think it's right up there with Monza from last year, like you said in the
Oh,
stream.
yeah.
And then, what was it, Olton last week with me and Zhang. I mean, just incredible respect from everyone, and, you know, no one died, I guess.
No, exactly. I had a little bit of an issue there with, gosh, who was it? Was it Pena, I think?
Yeah.
A little bit of a tap, but we're able to come back from that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, I think that that's just purely a racing incident
Oh,
with him. I mean, going
yeah.
through there, it's so slick. I mean, it
Yeah,
hurt the race, honestly, but to come back with a P2, and I think I was P4 or 5 after 2 laps, so I can't really complain.
yeah. I think I was seeing like yeah P5 or 6. It was you were already up there, and I mean it's probably a lot of the rain that helped that. Um, a lot of drivers probably were a little unsure of themselves into T1. Maybe could get a few more positions than usual.
Yeah, I was surprised with how cautious everyone took it. It was impossible to see back in the back, and I mean, it was super slick. All the puddles that were out there. I'll I'm gonna get a replay of my first couple laps because it was just impossible to see. But
Yeah,
I mean, I credit everyone on those first couple laps that survived it. It was really tough.
right. I I was expecting a lot more carnage than what we saw, and there's the other man of the hour, Cobra, coming in. I was just congratulating Larson, and now I have to congratulate you on probably the best battle I've ever watched and commentated in my time as broadcaster for this league. You guys were nuts.
It was epic and a lot of fun. And congratulations on finding your way through there, Larson.
I mean, congrats to the epic defense on your part. I mean, to be able to do that for that long, it was a lot of fun.
Uh,
I really didn't think I was gonna make it stick, and then when Yao got in our way, I thought you were gonna send it past me again.
right there at the end, I thought you were gonna make another move as well, Cobra. I saw you
Yeah,
thinking about it.
for sure, if I did, that would have resulted in a collision. So I pushed it as much as I was willing
Comfortable.
to, but I didn't want to take him out and spin you'll be around. So if I was going to do it, it needed to be plain.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, sorry for the send into T1 that one time. I think it was caught on stream.
Yeah, it was.
If you go back and see the onboard, I was full locked to the left when I got on the brakes because it tried to die on a puddle, so not intentional.
I thought you were just trying to outbrake him into that turn there. Um,
No, I was trying to see my braking marker and hit a puddle under braking, and
oh,
about killed us both.
maybe it wasn't as clean as I thought it was. I mean, you guys handled it well, though. I think the moment that you knew, Larson, that you were going to go long in there, you just kept going straight. And Cobra, I think it kind of seemed like you figured out what was going on and just tried to keep it as clean as you can and just took the switch back. I mean, you just had it nice and easy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw it coming, and saw him going a little bit deep, so that was the immediate plan. Because there was no way he was going to make the corner that way. Not at least
no.
catch the apex. So
Yeah, but
Yeah, as soon as I knew I wasn't making it, I got out of the brake a little to keep it from locking up as bad, and so that I didn't run you over.
right. Well, again, that was that was just pure gold to watch. All those little sends out of the Mercedes arena, those little nose dives from Larson there. I was wondering how much Cobra was sweating. Not that he was going to get through, but he was just it was enough to make you nervous. Um, just so many great battles. Excellent job. Excellent job. Um, yeah. That's all I gotta say. I wanted to get you guys in here to just talk about that because it was really as good as it may have seemed when you guys were doing it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and the coverage of it was great. I never intended on passing him in those areas. I kept poking the nose in. Just wanted to see if I could scare him a little.
You know, I said even during the stream too that Cobra, he's seasoned. He's got many years of driving under his belt. He's not sweating during those parts. I don't know if I'm right or not, Cobra.
I was sweating the whole time. You know, just trying to keep him behind. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, I do have a lot of experience. So I wasn't super nervous. To where the nerves were causing me to miss break points and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, he definitely had the heat turned up to 10. So good thing I had this fan on me, or I'd be really sweating.
Did you guys the Honda was looking mighty quick there today. I wasn't expecting it to be as quick as it was, and I think Larson, you came away with the fastest lap of the race, I want to say as well, right?
Yeah, I think I ended up with it on the last lap. I mean,
Right,
I really couldn't have matched Rivera had Rivera not had the issues that he had.
right.
I think he would have ended up catching Zhang, and probably, those two would have been top two.
I think you're
Um,
right.
yeah, I mean, he had
Yep.
that thing on lock, and Zhang just got out to such a large early lead that it was going to be hard to run him down.
Right, and this right when you guys started battling, I knew from the start there that that was just going to be more fuel to that fire of the gap, and you could see it increase like 3 seconds over the course of, he wasn't sending the fastest laps, but just a little bit over every single lap, it just added up. And by the time you actually got past, I don't know, what was it, like 8 minutes left, or something like
Yeah, something
that.
like that.
Yeah, just didn't have the time to answer.
Now, I probably needed 30 minutes if I was going to really try and
Right,
catch him after I got past. Maybe a little less with traffic, but
right,
even then, it's hard to say with the conditions. It was on a knife's edge every lap, so.
right. Well, thanks so much for joining into the booth here, guys. Again, congrats on the P 2 and 3. Uh, 100% deserved, and incredible, incredible respect between you guys. It was really a joy to watch, and I'm sure all of our watchers and viewers would thank you for that excellent battle, because it was incredible. That's stuff in movies right there. So
Yeah, it was
um,
a lot of fun.
to end it off, now I've already raced Larson in real life, and I'm close. Cobra, do you think you could take us in a go-kart battle?
Hmm. You know what? I gotta say yes.
Oh, you gotta
I'd like
say yes.
I gotta say yes.
I
I
guess
can
we're
to
ride
skip
around in
the
the go
stuff
kart a little bit.
guess we're gonna have to make a trip someday, aren't we?
anytime. Let's do it.
ZRL
Yeah,
retreat. Put it on the books.
There we
let's
go.
do it.
There we go. Well, thank you so much for joining, guys, and have a great rest of your night. Awesome job tonight.
Yeah, thanks, y'all. Great stream as well.
Thanks.
Thanks. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Peace. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. A little bit of added commentary there between I would say, the stars of the show today. Um, not to take anything out of Zhang's win there. That was an incredible win by Zhang, but those excellent battles between Portis and Larson there, absolutely incredible work from them. To look at the final standings of the race here, if I go to the garage and look at our timetables, I'll run through the ending order of the race before we sign off tonight. That is your winner. I think maybe his first ever win with ZRL. That's Shanghai Zhang on P1. Larson P2. P3 is Portis, Rivera, Pena, Reed, Beaudry, Wicks, Belanger, Wicks. Oh, sorry, no. Belanger, Collis, Turnbull, Yao, Flores, Fender, Pinio, and I just missed it. I messed it up there. Pinio, I want to say it was Alberts after him. Then it was Rodman, and last but not least, it was Rise. Took a little bit too long with our little bit of an interview there at the end of the race, but I think that may have been one of the most incredible races we've had on ZRL in quite a few seasons. And I just want to congratulate all of the drivers. Thank you for coming out. Thank you to all of you for tuning in tonight. And congratulations to our podium, Zhang, Larson, and Portis. My name is Shim. I've been your host tonight. I can't thank you all enough for joining me for this stream tonight. We're actually going to have a break next week, but join us in 2 weeks for round 9 of Zad's Galaxy Tour Season 10. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Have a wonderful 2 weeks, and stay safe out there. Peace.